So I wanted to start with this picture of this field. It's a beautiful green field. It could be anywhere. You go out and play soccer on it. But as it turns out, it's about an hour from here, and it is the site of one of the biggest environmental disasters in the United States. This is Love Canal. This is Love Canal in 1978. Early in the 1900s, a chemical company buried 21,000 tons of chemical waste at this site. They covered it over. They built houses, schools, playgrounds on the site. And when families started moving in the 1950s and 60s, they noticed that their children were getting very sick. There were very high incidents of cancer and other illnesses in this community. So the community got together. They requested that their water be tested. They were suspicious of their water, and they weren't happy with the kind of support they were getting. So they themselves started to test the water, and they worked with a local university researcher, and they got some results back, some data back. And from that community science started this activism that eventually led this site to be declared an environmental disaster. Federal money was given to buy the land from the community. It was covered over and remediated, and it's still in remediation to this day. So I wanted to use this. Many communities today are facing environmental challenges. They may not be the same kind of challenges as this, but they're facing challenges, many dealing with climate change, like wildfire risks or flooding, extreme weather, heat. And how can we, as a globe community, be a tool to support community science so that they can come up with their own solutions for resilience? I do want to point out, as Amy said this morning, GLOBE already is a tool for community science. You just have to look at the titles of the IVSS reports that students have submitted to see that. GLOBE is already being used in this way, but how can we invite the citizen science Globe Observer volunteer community to be a part of that environmental science? So I want to present two functions in Globe Observer that can be used for this, to bring communities in and help build community science. The first is the data request function that I talked about last night, and the second is badges. So as I said last night, anyone can, at the moment in the United States, but soon hopefully everywhere, can submit a request for people to go out and collect data using any of the 4 Globe Observer protocols, so clouds, mosquito habitats, land cover, or trees. Every request is reviewed, and if approved, it will go into the app, and you'll see that little orange bell pop up whenever you are in an area specific to that data request. I wanted to give you a couple examples to get you thinking about how this might be used in your community. This is a group that we worked with initially in 2020, and we're starting again here in 2024. They had a series of photos they collected in the 90s of the forest, and they wanted to recreate those photos. They wanted to document change over that period of time, looking at insect damage and wildfire recovery and development and all kinds of pressures that their forests have been under. And so they're recreating those photos using the Globe Land Cover tool, and they're really interested in putting that into the app itself to engage visitors to the forest in documenting what's happening there. The other one, many of you may be familiar with, is the NASA Moon Tree Quest. And in this case, we asked people who were near these moon trees, which are trees grown from seeds that flew on the Apollo missions in the 70s, to go find those moon trees. We told them where they were, go find them, measure their height, and let us know how they're doing. There's a data request in the app for this meeting. So I encourage you to open up your app, click on that orange bell, see what the data request is, just to get familiar with what it is. Even if you're not able to go out and actually take some of the land cover and trees data that are requested, just take a look at it and see what it's all about. As I showed you yesterday, anyone can put in a data request. You do have to have a Globe account. It's on the Globe Observer website under the Get Data tab, and that is what the form looks like. I wanted to show you the review process. So once those applications or proposals come in, my team will look at it just to make sure it's complete. That's all we're screening for. And then we send it for science review. We have a panel of scientists reviewing the science-based requests, and then we're looking also at the community requests to make sure everything that is needed is there, so that anyone, they know what they need to do, and that is also done in coordination with the GIO. I have grayed out here a space for country coordinator involvement. This is the international process that we haven't quite worked out yet, but that's there because I acknowledge it's really important. And then once everything's approved, we put it in the app, we put it on the website, and off it goes. The other tool I wanted to bring up as a function for community engagement is these ad hoc badges. So an ad hoc badge is a one-time badge for things such as submitting quality data, being complete in the protocol, anything. So can you use these special badges to engage a community in community science? And we're working on developing that. I'm looking for your input. I do have a share-a-thon table this afternoon. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear about your ideas for community science. I'd love to hear about your ideas for badges. So come find me. Thank you.